So now I want to talk through purchase orders and purchase order receipting. So from financial, we can go to purchase order manager. That will show us any purchase orders in the system already. So we can see what's current, any drafted purchase orders, an orders archive, which is the information on what we put out for purchase order, a receipts archive, which is anything receipted into the business. So when you send a purchase order out, obviously you get a supplier invoice and a receipt back in. From here, we can do new purchase order, and we can put some job and supplier information. That's one way of doing things. We can also bulk purchase order. So if I pick a particular supplier and next, then I can go through, and for one purchase order, I can put things to multiple jobs. So I can say we're going to do an order to this particular job for, let's say in this example, we're going to order tools, and it's going to be $200. Any notes that you want to add. Code is just if there's a product code. We can add that to the job, and then we can do another one and say we're also going to do for this particular job. So in this case, it will pick up costs that have yet to be ordered. So if you do have a particular job and you've allowed for something on the job, so say we've allowed for some carpentry, subcontracting, we can add that on. That will come down there as well. So we've now got the two items here, or I say items, one of them's labour. The two costs, bits of information. I can save a draft. I can issue, or I can issue and print if you're going to physically send it to that particular supplier. It's important to note that the print here is not print to a printer. It just prints it to screen, and then you can email it or otherwise. So here I've got a fairly average purchase order. I'm not sure this is even branded. No. But obviously we can amend this so it's got branding and information. Here I can export it to PDF if I want, or I can email, and if the supplier has an email address, then it would already be in there. If I go back to the purchase order here, then you can see that now that I've accepted it, or now that I've approved it, I've just got options for full receipt, partial receipt, or cancelled. Obviously cancel the purchase order if it's not going to be receipted and not going to happen. We can partial receipt if we've had, say, the tools come in but not the carpentry labour, or we can full receipt. So it's important to note between Xero and WorkflowMax that within WorkflowMax, when you send a purchase order and when you approve that purchase order, that nothing actually goes to the supplier at that, nothing actually goes to Xero at that point. It's only when you receipt the purchase order that in that case the bill will go to Xero. So as soon as I hit full receipt, the purchase order information comes back. I can put a supplier invoice number in here, check the date and check the due date, confirm the cost, so if there was a variation here, so I can put in another cost if I need to, any additional items if we've received additional items, and I can go save, and that will go and put both of those costs within the job, and it will put that invoice into, that supplier invoice into Xero as well to pay. So that's about your easiest way to go and do purchase orders. You can also then copy them if you need to, change the details if you need to. You can see receipt history as well. The other way to do purchase orders, which I'll show you just for interest at the end, the process is exactly the same, but the start is slightly different. So we can also go into a job, go to the financial tab, and from here we can do new purchase order. The only real difference here is if we pick a supplier and carry on through, we've just got the 3 lines that we have to enter. We don't have a jobs drop down because everything on this purchase order is going to go to this job. So the change in workflow there will really depend whether you're buying for multiple jobs, which is usually more like a subcontractor relationship, or whether you're buying for one job. Thanks.